Palm Springs Life for 50 years, California's prestige magazine. The Palm Springs Air Museum, a nonprofit educational institution whose mission is to exhibit, educate, and eternalize combat aircraft and our veterans. In addition to flying aircraft, artwork, and library sources, perpetuate American history for future generations. The Camelot Theaters, bringing you retrospective, documentary, and art films, foreign, and award-winning motion pictures. And the following supporters of public television and this program. Hello. You know, the arts abound in Southern California, both performing and visual. Well, today we are at the Michael H. Lord Gallery in Palm Springs, California, which is an oasis for contemporary art. But on occasion, there are musicales and salons for music held here. So come with us as we explore the visual and the performing arts. This musical salon was held in the gallery as a fundraiser for Well in the Desert, an organization headed by Arlene Rosenthal that feeds the homeless in Palm Springs. It was produced by Opera Arts, another group headed by Rosenthal that promotes both performing and visual arts, so important to gallery owner Michael H. Lord. Outside, there's a party going on, so we very quietly sneaked into the office of Mr. Lord, and we are sitting here, and even though we're in your office, you still have beautiful paintings.
We do. A lot of people like to come in here. It's like being in the kitchen. Come and relax.
All right, now tell me about this artist, because we will talk to him, and I know that his paintings are in your gallery. And how did you happen to bring this in here?
Well, Richard is someone I knew from my gallery in Milwaukee, because I've been in business for about 34 years. And I wanted to start the season early, but I wanted to be new to this community. I wanted to show someone who I knew, whose work I was familiar with, who's younger, who was affordable. I mean, I thought it'd be wonderful to have an artist who I think is established. He's been showing around the country. He's in his mid-40s. We published a book on him. The work is very colorful, and people really respond to it in a very positive way. And it's very affordable.
All right, when you say affordable, can I ask how much this is?
Well, they're drawings.
Yeah.
The range of the show, the prices are from drawings, works on paper, to paintings. It's $1,800 to $8,500, which for someone of his reputation caliber is very affordable. And we found that the people that we deal with, if they respond to it, they don't think they'll buy.
Oh, now you have been a collector and a gallery director and many things in the art world.
Floors, I do everything. I do it all.
But anyway, what brought you to Palm Springs?
Well, the warm weather. I mean, I think everyone responds to that first. But being in the Midwest for 33 years, I really felt I wanted to change venues. I wanted to be out of the Midwest, because I spent a lot of time I had a gallery in Japan, spent a lot of time in New York, had a gallery in New York called Elysium on 78th and Madison, and Milwaukee. But I just really wanted to come to the Southwest, and I was originally going to open in Scottsdale, but I kind of missed the bubble when that all sort of happened. And I had friends here, and I always liked Palm Springs. I loved the history, and I think probably the biggest factor is Steve Nash, who's the director of the Palm Springs Art Museum. He brings a high level of quality and knowledge to the museum, and I took notice of that. And so I have to really say a combination of that and finding a historical building like this.
I was going to ask you about that, because this is a historical building that has been here. I mean, tell us the story, if you don't mind.
What it was originally was a parking structure built in 1929. Lane Horwich, Lane was a good friend, bought the building when it was absolutely at its worst, and through Sonny Bono and some other people, when Sonny was mayor, restored the building, and it was only here for a short time. And then she died, and then it became an office building, became several other things. I didn't know this was Elaine's space, because I'd never visited her here in Palm Springs. But I always loved the space, and so I kept my eye on this building for a long time. So it took me 6 years, but after people came and went, we were able to get it and expand it.
It has wonderful space. Yeah. Can you, what is the space exactly?
How many square feet?
Yeah.
Well, we're probably at about 6,500 square feet.
Uh-huh.
And it's a big space, and as you know tonight, the acoustics are wonderful. Palm Springs has a life and a charm of its own, and the music part of our what we do here really came from the community. You know, people approached me to perform here, and that to me has been the most pleasant surprise.
The music is incredible today,
Yeah.
and I've seen it other times, and it is always incredible. But still, you are an art gallery that presents sometimes salons or recitals in this wonderful space that you have. So tell me about what you, how you feel about the art that you are showing here. Most of it is contemporary. So let's talk about what you believe.
Well, first of all, I didn't come to this community with the idea that I know so much and I'm going to impose it on everyone. I spent the last 2 years listening and watching and trying to get a feel for the community. And I've been very blessed to get to meet a lot of people here. So what I can bring is sort of a knowledge of art history. And so what I've done is I've selected maybe 5, 6 people from the community who are sort of mid-career artists that I can work with and do books and do shows for. I also, a lot of the pictures that you see in the gallery are pieces that we own from our inventory, because I've been in business for a long time. So you acquire over time a lot of artwork, and the economy has been bad for the last couple of years, but it's really, really picked up.
Yeah.
So the gallery is probably a lot more eclectic than I like it to be. It'll be focused, but it'll become focused through the course of the season. Because one, business is good. We do a lot of internet business now, which was a big surprise. So a gallery like this can survive because the internet is all the time. It's not seasonal. It's not like everyone disappears in the summer.
Yeah.
So we've been able to balance our business out and do business. What I'm doing in the process of, and I'll be traveling a lot between now and January 1st, I'm in New York, I'm in Miami, I'm in Europe, I'll be in several different places, is that I want to really elevate the game of the gallery and be focused. I have some really wonderful artists who, to my surprise, have said yes and they'd like to show here. I have a lot of faith in not just in the community, but the people that visit here in Palm Springs. So I have the confidence to be aggressive, and I'm getting, if you were studying art history, probably the history of American contemporary art, I have a very high level of shows planned for the next year, 2 years.
Your focus really is contemporary art,
Yes.
even though you have other things.
Yes, well, we do photography.
It's such a pleasure to be here with Leland Lee, and you were photographing some of the finest mid-century designs created by the finest architects.
Oh, exactly.
And we're so lucky to have them here.
Well, I'll tell you,
Yeah.
this is the crowning achievement of my brief career, you know, to have great architectural design and a wonderful interior designer without parallel, you know.
Right. We hear so much about the Elrod House. So tell me how you happened to do this.
Well, it's fortuitous because I was Julius Schulman's assistant for 8 years.
Yeah.
And the architectural editor of House and Garden requested that he host all the leading architects of the region at his home when I was his assistant. So I met Will Melhorn, who was the architectural editor of House and Garden, and he was so impressed with what I was able to do that he phoned me about 2 weeks before 1969, and I picked him up in Beverly Hills at 5 in the morning on a Thursday, and I had to drive him and all my equipment, my assistant, out to the desert, arriving around 7 o'clock at the Oasis.
And then you went up to here because it's
Well, I went up to the house and I was flabbergasted to find the scope of
an
it.
incredible home. So tell me exactly where this is with the steps going up.
Well, this, at this point in time,
Yeah.
when I saw the house, I told Arthur I either had to have hummingbird wings or a helicopter in order to take the photographs, because I was down here somewhere looking up before the addition was made. And within hours, he had a cherry picker. So that's the equivalent.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
So I took this photograph from the air, and others, there's another one, but I mean, it would not have been possible.
This is the master bedroom, and this is, I guess, the wonderful...
Well, this is only the sitting area of the master bedroom.
Right.
The master bed is way over here.
Yeah.
And this is on the pool terrace.
Yeah, yeah.
With the... somebody Fong made this custom furniture.
Right, and here it is closer. This
Well,
is
it's so, the scale was proper. Everything was, Arthur didn't spare expense.
no, I knew him, by the way, and he was incredible.
The main, the most striking architectural feature, aside from the whole totality of the design, was the mitered glass.
Yeah.
And the year that there was a windstorm, after they made Diamonds Are Forever,
Which they did up here.
The film company did not do a good job putting the glass back. And there was a windstorm that summer, and it blew out.
Yeah.
And they never replaced the glass again. And they put up a sliding track.
And at this Feast of the Arts, original Bond girl Trina Parks sang a song from another Bond movie.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the mindless touch, a spider's touch, a cold finger. Pretty girls, beware of his heart of gold. His heart is cold.
We do sculpture, we're doing a sculpture show, we're doing a video show during the film festival. So I have a video artist coming here, which will be fun. So we try to mix it up and try to go with the flow of Palm Springs.
One of the big shows at the Palm Springs Art Museum was Robert Mapplethorpe last year, and I understand, although he's shown all over the world, that he also was in your gallery that you had in Milwaukee.
I was actually very influenced by his work. I loved him as a photographer, and he was a challenge because I met him in the early 80s. And he was someone, if you looked at photography, the argument in the art world at that time was, is photography art? And well, why does it get so much money? And Robert was this young, sort of underground photographer in New York, and showed the seedy side of New York, and it was quite controversial, and became more controversial. To my surprise, I pursued him, and through a friend of mine who's a dealer who represented him in New York, and he introduced me, and I met him at a studio in Bond Street, and we developed a friendship and a relationship. And after lots of arm twisting, convinced him to come to Milwaukee, which was not easy. And that's how we. And the nice thing about it, I was showing you in this book that he had shows the year that I showed him in Milwaukee, in Dusseldorf, Tokyo, Paris. I mean, all the glamorous places in the world. And so it was very hard to convince him. And his first response is, why do I want to come to Milwaukee? Why would it enhance my career? But what I'm quite proud is the fact that our show really outsold all those cities. I mean, there was a very strong interest in Milwaukee.
That's interesting.
In photography.
They're obviously very art-minded.
There's a very good art community.
As it is here, which a lot of people from the outside don't realize, who don't live here. So tell me what artists you recommend for young collectors.
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's why I've been doing a lot of traveling. I've been doing a lot of looking. I think there's choices right now, but the art world right now, because given the economy, you read about record prices for blue chip names. Not a lot of people can jump in and buy names. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to show Richard, is because it's affordable, it's accessible. It gets people looking at color. When people first start collecting, it's about looking at color, or they respond to color, texture, and I think people should just kind of keep their hands in their pocket and sort of watch and look. There are a lot of galleries here. There's a lot written about art. I mean, there's so much information about art now. I mean, try to become very comfortable and find out what you like.
So tell me about this particular painting. What is this called?
This one's called Yes, Y-E-S, 3 panels. It started off as a triptych, but then I combined, and it's the whole challenge was to get it to work as a whole. Picking the parts to work as a whole. There's always a challenge for a painter, and that's how it kind of came together. The words helped the viewer kind of enter the painting. Not that these letters and such mean anything particular. It's just at one point there was a word there. Some things were eliminated and added, and it's all part of the playfulness of the piece, and that's important.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Now, this is on paper?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's mixed media on paper.
How interesting. Do you do a lot of those?
I do, quite a few. Maybe 5, 6 drawings per every painting.
Well, this is Eden, and you know, it's my process is I do color and then varnish, color and then varnish, and I don't know, they're calling my work photorealistic or maybe hyperrealism. Now, this is an older painting. It was actually, I started this painting and then the space shuttle disaster happened, and so it's a shrouded Madonna, and the whole feeling is if we can take our truths with us to the future.
I know you have another painting which I just love because she's so beautiful. I'm jealous of her. And she's in the water. And tell me about that. I know it's a favorite of yours, Carla.
Well, it's also, when I was living in Tahoe, you know, I'm originally from New York City, and I've never seen water like that in my whole life. So originally this painting was to document the water in Tahoe, and then I came up with the concept of Eve, and this is my best friend's daughter, and her name is Athena, and I can't make that up. Anyway, I was going for 3 dimensions on this painting. I was going for underneath the water, the surface of the water, and above the water.
And next to her, I suppose that's the fruit?
Yes, the apples, the forbidden fruit. Yes, absolutely.
The colors that I find in nature are always an inspiration for me because I'm never trying to reproduce these colors. They're trying to recreate the colors that I see in nature. And this painting deals with a lot of surface issues. The paint is very close to the surface, yet it gives you the illusion of a 3D space, of this inner luminosity coming from within the painting itself.
Stuart Gordon, professor of keyboard studies at the University of Southern California, introduced this magnificent pianist. I hope you enjoyed our visit to the Michael H. Lord Gallery in Palm Springs, California, where very often the visual and performing arts are combined. I'm Gloria Greer. Please stay with us next week as we continue to explore the arts. Palm Springs Life, for 50 years, California's prestige magazine. The Palm Springs Air Museum, a nonprofit educational institution whose mission is to exhibit, educate, and eternalize combat aircraft and our veterans. In addition to flying aircraft, artwork, and library sources, perpetuate American history for future generations. The Camelot Theaters, bringing you retrospective, documentary, and art films, foreign, and award-winning motion pictures. And the following supporters of public television and this program: